bringing our man Eddie Gonzalez here. Keep this Friday moving along, man. Just having fun. Just licking our wounds, dog. That's all we're doing.
Man.
That's all we're doing. Just enjoying the off season, like
aren't we all? Aren't we all?
like the rest of the bad teams in the league, just enjoying the off season.
It's like, so what would you prefer? The way the Kings went out or the way the Suns went out?
It doesn't even matter.
They both just
it doesn't even matter. Like the results the same. Like y'all fired Bud the next day. I think y'all waited a couple hours to do. We waited a couple minutes
at least, right?
We told Monty before he got to the car, like, hey man, it's good, bro.
Monty was there giving a goodbye message, and somebody's like, hey, what the hell is he doing?
Man, why is he
what is he doing? Somebody didn't tell him yet?
So I'm like, hey guys, I'm gonna work to improve the roster. No, he's not.
Was watching the game too, like, oh, get a little competitive now. Okay, here we go, and just never happened. It was like, all right, at the crib too. Man. All right,
yeah, we talked about it yesterday, man, and they really let the city down with that performance. It wasn't even necessarily a loss, but just the way they went out against that Mavs team, it just let everybody down. They really did.
I always hate to kind of like question effort or desire or whatever, but I would say what we've seen from the Kings and the Suns the last month of the season, a little questionable in the effort and desire categories for sure. Suns multiple losses by 20, 30 points, 7 losses in a row before picking up a cheapie over a team that was tanking, and then one more loss to finish the season off. And then obviously what you see with the Kings. What was that? The Wizards game? Like, it's hard to not look back at that game and go, all right, like, what are we doing here, guys? And then obviously the play-in was just, you get the boo birds, you get guys leaving early, you get AD telling everybody to leave early. It's not how you wanted to end, for sure.
I left just after halftime and didn't miss a thing. It was a 44-19 second quarter.
It seemed like 100 years ago they won that play-in versus the Warriors, right? I kept saying that about the Suns. It feels like 3 months ago they beat the Cavs, fully healthy, beat them, and just fair and square, right? And for the Kings, even more so. Even that game 7 just feels like so long ago. And now we have all that uncertainty going to the offseason. Who knows what's going to be on the court next year?
So,
Scott, not us. We worked hypothetical deals for Nick Claxton.
Oh my! I like Nick, man. Shout out Nick.
This is what they said. I saw it on Bleacher Reports. You know how it goes. But just throwing out something. It was Domas for Nick. I guess I feel sorry for saying it, but I don't remember who the guy was. He's a random net and 2 first-round picks. Is that like, what would you do if you were the Kings in that situation?
2 firsts for Domas is exciting.
Yes, that's where we got stuck. It was like, wait, we sure that's gonna work?
I love Domas. I've been up and down with him. I think he's a talented player, a player you can make work in a few different places. 2 firsts would surprise me quite a bit, but if you get 2 firsts, like, hey, you got to go, buddy. We'll enjoy your time.
Well, they got enough first-round picks to do it.
Yeah, oh yeah, and I'm wondering if that's what. So I had a conversation earlier with a person who would know, right? And it was like, why don't the Suns just completely tear it down? And we both agree that's probably the best way to do it. We look at the Kings, like, look, plug your ears, fans, but a good 2-3 year tank is probably exactly what they need right now to get the cap situation right, to clear the decks, to give a new coach a chance to build a culture in that organization, and to hopefully get somebody in the draft that you can build around from there, or catch the right free agent, catch the right sign and trade, catch the right whatever it is in the next couple of years. There's a couple teams in the league who are sitting in that spot, and I think the 2 teams we're talking about are within that box for sure.
You talk about tearing it down completely. You're talking about Devin Booker.
Yeah, I mean, that was the question we were having because of the conversations and the quotes that came out of the press conference yesterday, where Matt Ishbia said, only certainties next year are me, I'll be here, and Devin Booker will be here, which was very, very, very loud. But they've said that a few times now. They said it to ESPN. They've been very clear. We're trying to compete, which I love. I thought he had a great a bunch of great quotes about wanting to put together a great culture, a great experience for the fans. And then again, hitched his wagon to Devin Booker, who I think is a great player. He's only 28 years old. He's a multiple time All-Star, gold medalist, all that good stuff. We know his resume. But I'm just looking like, okay, you're going to give out the richest contract in NBA league history. You're already in an awful cap situation, and you want to pile onto that. So I'm asking people around the league, like, am I tripping, or is their best scenario here to actually see what they can get for Book? And pretty much everybody agreed, but also understood why the Suns aren't going to do that. It's not like you can go in your exit interview as the owner and say, oh yeah, no, we're going to trade the two best players on our team and we're going to kind of brace for a couple years of losing and then be better. That's not exactly what you say to rile up the fans at that press
conference.
Yeah, guys, it's going to be rough for a while.
but re-up those season tickets, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how it gets done for the Kings or anybody, but I there is a part of me that looks at the way that Ishbia goes about things, and that's probably how I would go about it, right? Like, if I have the money and I'm willing to spend it, no, we're gonna keep trying to win this thing. I'm trying to get people in here in the front office that can maneuver with trades and maybe get us some draft picks and stuff like that along the way. But we're not gonna just be awful for 4 years. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I want to keep trying to win this way. And if I got to go sign some people, if I got to take some contracts that, put me in the luxury tax or something like that, I'm going to do that. Once again, not saying that it's bad to tank or anything like that, but I can understand like his thought process with this is the way I'm going to go about it.
Absolutely. I thought he had a lot of great quotes about, again, I want to hand this off to the right basketball people. Like, I want my people to make this better, and whether it's these guys or other people, and I'll give the green light at the very end of the conversations. And I think he had a lot of great quotes again about the fan experience and about wanting to invest in this team. It's like he essentially said, I'm not here to make money off this team. I'm here to have a great team and a great experience, which I love. If you're a fan, you love that from your owner. And it's like, ideally, he finds the right basketball people for that. But the analogy I use is, if I bought a $5 billion toy, I'm not going to leave that in the box on the shelf. I'm going to play with that toy. I don't care if it's a collector's item. And I don't blame him. If I own the team, I'm going to be there. And I'm going to be at the games. I'm going to want to make sure we're good. Why would we want to be bad? But I think the logical kind of like team building situation, and he said this himself too, like, I have to figure out how to work within the NBA is to, recoup a lot of your assets and then slowly begin that build up. Now, again, I was the guy screaming it during the season, like, no, you get more guys. You have Devin Booker, you have Kevin Durant. But now that has failed, yes, it's time to reassess and figure out what's next.
It's the Kevin Durant, Devin Booker part isn't the problem,
right? And that's a question
I love Brad, like, but you gotta allocate that other $50 million in a different way.
Yep, and that's a question I asked too. Like, is there a reality where they just strip down next to them and then build up from there? But it just seems like the situation they're in, like you said, they have $50 million tied up into something they can't really get money back for. And this is the only way to get stuff, is to sell this other $50 million player who just so happens to be their best player.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
Their issues are their issues, and the Kings' issues are the Kings' issues.
Sorry, Eddie, not my problem. I did see some of the Matt Ishbia stuff though, and I kind of, it's like, why, like, these new owners have to. It's like, no, I'm really excited to be in. I'm gonna really screw up the first 3 or 4 years I own this team. Then I'm going to learn some really, really tough lessons. Then I might figure it out. Kings fans might be waiting for their owner to figure it out. But like, Suns fans are like, hey, we got Book. Like, we've questioned whether Sacramento has a one, whether they ever had a one with De'Aaron. We know that they don't now. There's no question Book is one. KD is one. It's just, things have gone sour with KD in whatever way. Like, I'm of the feeling, though, I think because you have that one, Eddie, I feel like Phoenix could retool pretty quickly. Like, maybe even this season. I just you know, obviously you got to be willing to move on from Kevin Durant in that regard, or potentially Devin Booker. I don't think both of them. The Kings don't have that one. I think when you have a guy, you have a clear centerpiece that you can build around. When you can say the only two things that are certain are me, the owner, and this player, I think you're in pretty decent shape when you can do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, like you said, not having the one,
Yep.
that's frustrating. I mean, as a fan, you're sitting there like, who is my guy here? What jersey do I buy? You know what I mean? And so you rather have one than not. But again, you're going to pay him this summer, the biggest contract. So that again, in and of itself, is the largest cosign you can give your player, and you have to build around that. And Book isn't old by any means, but he's 28. Like the clock is ticking in that sense, you know. And then you got guys younger than him or driving the one seeds right now. When you look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Donovan Mitchell's a guy that people compare him to. You got Jason Tatum, who is I think a year younger than him on the Celtics. So you have like that going with you too, and then you kind of ask yourself the question like, is he that tier of player? Because we're about to pay him like he is, and I think he's earned the paycheck. I think he's earned that, but again, you're going to need to build that team around him. It does feel like a year, maybe 2 years away. Whereas, like you said, we're looking at the Kings and saying, okay, first we got to get the dude, and then we're like a year or two away. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at the questions you're answering on the way in here, seeing LaMelo Ball and seeing these other names. It's like, is that really possible in this coming summer or in the next couple summers? And we'll see. But what I will give the Kings and what I will give Vivek is they've always been aggressive. Have they been aggressive in the wrong directions a few times? For sure. But he's always been aggressive. I think you like that, but you hate the way this season ended, it obviously, and so many question marks. Like it's frustrating.
Forgive me if my timeline is a little bit off, but I believe you were in New York when Scott Perry was with the Knicks. Are you familiar with his game, so to speak, like, and what he may be bringing to Sacramento as an executive? I know he obviously helped put together those Pistons teams. Lee Sean.
That's all right. Hang on.
My Bluetooth speaker over here going crazy.
Kevin Durant, like, hey, KD.
King of the Hill start playing. No, I'm not all that familiar, but what I will say is it's a little interesting that when the kind of CAA Avengers from took over the Knicks started obviously going in another direction. Now, again, that goes to the Knicks getting a dude when they got Jalen Brunson and they kind of made their ascension from there. It is curious that they made the hire that quick. Like they know something, you know, they had somebody in mind and they're going to go in some direction with that. I wonder the amount of, you know, trust he'll be giving going forward from the organization because there's been a ton of turnover. You know, there's been a ton of turnover, several different regimes, and it makes it a interesting job to take. But if there's going to be some patience, if there's a mutual plan going forward, like to see what they do. But again, I think like most teams, like most not big city teams as well, they need to get high in that draft and they need to hit on one of those picks. And that should be the plan going forward.
What series are you looking forward to the most?
You know, I know Kings fans don't want to hear this, but the Lakers series. I want to see the Lakers.
I'm good with that. Yeah, Lakers, Wolves. Like, yeah,
I want to see Ant-Man. I want to see Luka. I just think the matchups, those teams are so night and day to each other. You know, the Wolves, they want to play big. They want to crash the glass. They rely on Anthony Edwards, obviously a ton. And then, you know, they want to be in the paint on offense otherwise. And they're crazy athletic, bunch of long arm guys. They're chasing you all around the court, pressing you full court. And on the other side, you have the GOAT. You have Luka Doncic, who beat this team up last season. And those guys are going to be small, and they want to be athletic, and they want to swarm on defense, and they still want to get rebounds because they're small as 4, 6'8" dudes and a 6'5" point guard. But it's just a clash of styles, clash of coaching styles as well, and then so many stars on that court. I can't wait to see it. And I got the Wolves right now just because I'm just looking at that athleticism we're going to see on that court. I just think that's a group on a mission, man. I think this is AE's time to really have another run.
I think the Wolves are a
Man.
potential problem. And I think I got 2 picks that teams that I feel people are kind of sleeping on. One is the Wolves, and I made it official. I'll make it official now. I got the Rockets beating the Warriors.
Woo!
I think the Rockets are a problem for Golden State.
My thing with the Rockets Warriors series is I look at them and I love what the Rockets did to that team a couple weeks ago. It's gonna be a rock fight. There's 2 teams that just look. We're gonna put 4 defenders on the court. We don't care. We're 3 dudes who don't want to shoot. One of them that will kind of shoot sometimes, and we're gonna go. But when I say it like that, if it's a rock fight, we got a dude who's like a boulder thrower over there in Steph Curry. So I'd love to see him really explode in this series and really take over. But man, Amen Thompson chasing him around. It might not be the series for that. It might not be the series. So that's a pick 'em for me too. I'm gonna go with the experience of the Warriors and just feel like, especially if they get that split, and take over home court. I'm gonna go with that. But man, I'm looking at that Rockets team like if they beat them, who knows where they go from there.
That play, and maybe it's a recency bias when I say this, but that play-in performance by the Warriors have me not feeling as confident about them because they got amazing games stat-wise from Jimmy and Steph, and getting by the skin of their teeth against a Memphis team that it just isn't that good. Like I said, Houston is a better version of Memphis, and yeah, I don't know. They're going to need the others to step up in a major way, and that's talking about the Warriors. The others are going to have to step up.
Yeah, I want to see where the scoring punch comes from on the Rockets. Jalen Green hasn't played very well against the Warriors, and they got defenders who obviously are an issue there. But also some of those games included Andrew Wiggins, and he's more of an issue than I think he'll have with Brandon Podziemski or Moses Moody. I want to see him step up. He could be the real X factor for them. I think Alfred Sengun had a great game and matches up well against them, but it's gonna be a chippy series, man. It might be a chippy series from game one. You know, sometimes we eventually build up to that. I just can see in my head Dylan Brooks yelling at Draymond and yelling at Jimmy Butler and everybody getting involved with that. And then you got Steven Adams coming off the bench, and that series is gonna be drama. I can't wait to see it. I got the Warriors, like I said, eking it out, but man, they're gonna have to earn it.
Well, Dame, Eddie brought up a good point. Those previous games, Warriors, Rockets, it involved guys who weren't there anymore, like Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga. So you never know what.
You get that Jonathan Kuminga joke in. Now let the record show, Eddie. I disagree with everything both of you just said. I like the Lakers in the Timberwolves series.
No, don't say no more. What'd he say? Jesse, you just said I like the Lakers.
Quit begging.
Ain't that what he just said?
I like the Lakers. I thought he said
that. Yeah.
Quit begging.
Have some respect.
Quit begging. Draymond Green over here. And speaking of, I'm not in on the Rockets yet either. I know they're right there. I don't know how far the Warriors can go in all of this, but I think the Warriors Rockets matchup is super intriguing, and I think the Warriors can win it. My thing with Minnesota, Eddie, is I just don't buy them. Really? I didn't buy them last year. No, didn't buy them last year. It was like, okay, I was wrong last year. You're going to have to show me again. They didn't show me anything this year. I don't buy it. I buy Ant, but that's about the extent of it.
I think for me, it's the matchup they got. And I think the ability to use that size. And I'm with you, I buy Ant. But much like I asked the same question about the Thunder, I'm asking this question about the Rockets too. Who else is helping Ant on offense? That's what I really want to see. And you could say Julius Randle, but we know he's a little inconsistent. You could say Nas, but the same thing from him. Those wings are like really streaky and spotty when it comes to Nar or it comes to Jaden McDaniels. So I'm curious who's going to help him not only make shots, but create offense, penetrate, get into the rim, get to the paint, and get that defense moving. That's what I want to see, and that's what's going to win them the series. You know, being the biggest team, Rudy Gobert making stuff happen in the paint on both sides of the court, but somebody's going to have to step up offensively. We're not asking that question about the Lakers. We are not. We know where the offense is coming from, and we know it will look good. And we got to ask that question about the Wolves. So I'm with you there. I'm with you about the Rockets in that sense too. The one team, like we had mentioned them, that I'm not concerned about in that sense, my MVP, the Denver Nuggets, and Nikola Jokic.
You ain't worried
I'm
about
actually
what?
thinking we're sleeping on them. Everybody's excited about the Clippers right now.
You ain't worried about what? You ain't worried
I
about the Nuggets?
we're sleeping on the Nuggets. I think they're gonna get that series, man. Everybody's way too quick to hand James Harden and Kawhi this, and we've seen them do this stuff too many times. Like, come on, man. We're betting on Ben Simmons.
No,
okay.
no, don't do
wait a
that. Don't do
Wait a
that.
minute.
No, you know.
Wait just a damn minute.
So I have a confession to make to you. Everyone else knows this already. I don't think I like Jamal Murray. I don't.
I respect the playoff riser though.
I don't get it. Like and I think that's what it is. I think that's what is. I watch him for 82 games, and it's like, yeah, he's fine. He's good. Like he's fine. He's good. And then like he has these moments in the postseason where it's like, oh, okay, there it is. And then he doesn't. And it's like the moments where he's like, whoo, Jamal Murray, boy, those things are magnified. And man, he's a this, he's a that. And then when he doesn't have those moments, it's just like, well, it's not even a discussion.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like if you're second to Nikola Jokic, you can't miss. You can't have an off night. You can't have a bad night because bad for you. He's not going to. I don't think Nikola Jokic has had a bad night in 6 years.
Right.
Don't have one in a winner go home game.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, maybe people are a little hyped on the Clippers, but I don't know that I'm sleeping on the Nuggets.
Yeah, we're giving a lot to Norm Powell here. We're giving a lot to
Stop. How about Ty Lue?
Yeah, how about
Jones
Christian
Jr.?
Brown? We're giving a lot to Christian Brown.
Put slotting in a coach 2 weeks before playoffs is kind of crazy. I'll say that. I'm a Christian Brown fan.
Fox.
I'm good with Christian Brown. I think we're good. We're getting what we need from him. But I do think there's something to continuity, and I do think there's something to have in a bread and butter, which is like OD's basic analysis. I know. But if we're in a close game, we can run that 1-2 with Jamal and with Jokic, and we're gonna get a good shot every time. Y'all don't have the personnel to deal with this. I will say the one guy that scares me, he'd be Zubac. He'd be a monster on the right night.
Yeah.
Hey, Daddy, I'm on that train, man.
Zubac might be Defensive Player of the Year.
It might be. It might be. I'm on that train. I'm not predicting that they get here, but they could win the West. I believe the Clippers can win the West.
Yeah, no, they could. And again, if we get the Kawhi that we're all hoping we get, and I'm not being like asterisk injury guy, but like that is the truth of it. He looks great now. And we always have to cross our fingers and knock on wood. He does look great now, and it's time to step it up even more. I would say this. I was at his last playoff game, and he looked like a monster. And then he didn't play a game, which was unfortunate. It was fortunate for my guy. But he did look like a monster last time I seen him in a playoff game, and I'd imagine he will again.
Who you got tonight? We got Grizzlies in Dallas and Miami in Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, Miami and Atlanta.
Miami and Atlanta. Sorry, yeah, Orlando's already moved along.
I'm going to go with both home teams. I'm going to just trust that. But, man, did the Hawks look bad last time I watched them play basketball. So that's tough to see. If Ja is good, and his ankle is straight, if he's like 80%, they got to take care of business there. I like the Mavs. The Mavs are cool, but man, the Kings make them look way better than what they are. So I'd expect the Grizzlies in their firepower offense to kind of overwhelm that Eastern Conference game. I hope it's good. Because I don't know about y'all, but I'm like, we need to get ready to play. I'm that team right now.
No,
and it's
really. Well, it's not happening because it's brought to you by SoFi, which means they're just making money on it. They ain't going nowhere.
We're getting one good game out of every 8. Like, can we get like
it gives us something to do during the week though.
It does.
How boring was last night?
But but look, I had asked the other day, like, I feel like the playoffs usually started faster, right? We didn't get a week off, and it was like, the season would end like Wednesday, and we get playoff games Saturday. That's fine. We can do that. So I don't know. I'm just kind of over these games. We're watching bad teams get blown out by another bad team. What's the fun in that?
Doesn't matter. Brought to you by SoFi. As long as it's brought to you by SoFi.
Oh, and we all watch, so it's not going nowhere. We're there every time.
Which
and they
one?
get stars. We keep getting stars in these too.
The Warriors Grizzlies game was a monster. It did like 4 million or something like that the other
And
night.
every other game stunk. But it was a monster. And again, we keep getting stars. We keep getting Steph Curry. We keep getting LeBron. We got KD a couple of times.
Didn't we have Steph
Ja
versus
Morant.
LeBron
Yeah, that was the first one, right?
first
Yep.
year?
Yeah.
That was ESPN's wet dream.
That's when he couldn't see. He saw 3 baskets.
No.
Yeah.
And Steph looked at him like, please.
What about LeBron setting up the theater stanchion in his home and making it like he went to a theater? And I'm looking at this picture like, you're in your house, buddy. Like, I'm happy you got the center screener, but come on.
LeBron funny.
Let LeBron live,
He
man.
funny, man. That's a funny dude.
I don't know if it was a
James
flex or he
King,
tried to lie on us and we caught him, but it was like, all right, boss. I love it.
Oh man, it was funny.
Savannah's a flex.
We got to go, but I'll tell you when we get back. It was funny last week with LeBron. I'll tell you about it.
Eddie, we appreciate you as always, my brother. Thank you so much.
All right, family.
So, man.